Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming live at you again. Hope everyone's doing good. It is Tuesday. No, actually, it's a Wednesday. It's funny how weeks just go by so quickly, but it's Wednesday at about 9:38. Pretty overcasty day. I think it's supposed to be pretty nice later on, but we are officially in Halloween season. Today is October 2nd, so hope everyone's doing good. I Again, I've been watching a ton of movies, and it's been really awesome. I'm almost done, actually, fully caught up with all of the new movies that I've bought. I've been going up to Bull Moose. I've actually went up quite a few times the last few months, so I got a lot of movies, and I just went up on Saturday. Or no, wait, it was Sunday. I went up and I got a couple of more movies. So I got one more movie to go, and then I'll be totally caught up. And a lot of times, what I do, I'm not like, well. One of the things that irks me sometimes about collectors is, I see a lot of folks who do buy movies, and again, I have a lot. Most of the time, I have a lot in common with these folks because of their mutual interest or passion about movies and all the things that includes. But one of the things I see a lot, even with a couple of YouTube guys that I generally really love, is they buy tons of movies, but then a lot of times they don't watch them, or they haven't seen them, and I don't understand it. It's very easy to get you buy a lot at a time, and you kind of sit in the back, or they end up taking a back seat. But you know, to me, it's like when I see that, and people buy a bunch of stuff, a bunch of shit, a bunch of movies or whatever, but then they don't listen to them or watch them. I kind of feel like um, it's more of just a pure addiction. It's not really, or just trying to accumulate stuff, you know. But I think it's like I make it a point to watch everything that I buy, and pretty much every show that I have on this channel is a movie or movie there or it is a movie or there is a series of movies that I've done covered where they are all from my own collection. So everything I talk about, I've seen at least once or numerous times. And this past year has been a big shift for me personally in my movie habits because I I don't know, I don't. There's a lot of things that have changed for me as far as how I view movies or my habits. Like I don't rent movies as much because I've been you know, I've seen some movies that were like not so great. I haven't been really excited. There's been a few movies that I've generally really liked. I don't go to the theater as much because of that reason. There are some movies that I've been looking forward to that I do want to see, but it's kind of a mixed bag. And the last movie that I saw that was new, that I rented, that I actually really liked a lot, and I actually went to try to buy it on Blu-ray because I saw it on DVD, but it was not available. It's not available to the end of this month, unfortunately. And that is In a Violent Nature, which I thought was a very interesting and new kind of take, or new direction that this it's an original way of telling a really good slasher movie or showing a good slasher movie or just a unique rendition of a slasher movie. Slasher movies are my favorite, and I thought this had something really unique about it, and I actually really enjoyed it. Um, so that's it, and that was brand new. That just came out. So I definitely, I just did a show in a Violent Nature. So check that out. I think it's up and running now. Lately, I've been doing the shows for the channel, and then I've been setting them as premieres. It's a lot. I don't know. It's just a lot easier, and it's a little bit more convenient, and I can just kind of pop them out, pop them in, pop them out, and it's a lot more. There's a little bit less work. When it's funny because when and there's been times where I do a lot with this channel, and the pages that I run. And there's times where it might sound kind of funny, but there's times when I put a lot of time into it, and I really love doing it. I really really enjoy it. It's a real fun outlet. It's a real passion of mine, obviously, and it's interconnected with my entire life because of music and whatever. It's everything that I appreciate, and so there's times every now and then where I'm like, wow, this is a lot of work. I'm like, I'm doing posts, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm setting up interviews, and whenever it gets to a point where I'm like, oh god, this feels like a fucking job, then I just back off. I don't want it to be a job. Like, there are people out there that can make a living off of YouTube, and maybe at some point if I have an opportunity to do that, I might do that. But then I'm also, I don't know, I'm kind of I'm kind of turned off by it to a degree because of having to get sponsored by a company and then having to plug that company, and I don't really have any desire for that. I just want this channel to just be something that the love that's the love that's on my sleeve, my heart's on my sleeve with these movies, and I just want it to be about the movies. I could give a fuck about anything else around that or around the channel. It is what it is, and people can like it or they don't like it, and whatever. That's fine. But it's about the movies, and I'm not really, if I'm able to make money from this someday, sure, that would be great. But I'm not like, oh, I gotta time videos every, a certain time of the week to like hit the algorithm right and reach out and network and comment on every person's video and like try to like pull in this person and it's just such a stupid game to me, and I understand you have to play the game if you want to be successful, if you're in the in the field, and but I just don't care about it. I just don't. It's just such bullshit because it's just there's always you can learn, and you can learn the interiors, the exteriors of how this whole thing works, but it's just it's it's kind of a rat race that way, and I just don't have an interest in that. I look at a lot of things that way, and I understand to be successful, you kind of have to do that. But I don't know. I just feel like it's, you know, not to go off on a rant, but I feel like our country, our world right now is in not the best place, and a lot of this stuff is due. I've worked in corporations. I've worked for corporations, unfortunately, for a long time, and I realize how they work. I realize how they function, and we do live in this capitalist society, and I see how it works. I know kind of how the rules work, and this corporatist mentality. I can see how things work. And I've had to work in that system for a long time, and I realize I'm not really the right temperament with to coincide with that mentality, and so I can't really fit in. I can't really make that work. It never feels comfortable for me, and I feel like yeah, we have lots of freedoms to express ourselves, to do this or do that. I think those things are kind of getting limited, um, and I think to a degree, capitalism is just it's a failed experiment, and we are where we are because everything is kind of run the way it's run. We have like this is why we have the politicians that we elect. We have the choices of douchebag or shit sandwich, South Park, or and then we have to pay $5 or $6 for a carton of eggs, and this is due to capitalism. And it's a fail. I kind of feel like it's a failed experiment, and it's the whole corporate mentality, and I don't fit in with this kind of mindset. And I feel like, well, if you're going to start a business, you have to, this is what you need to use, and you're told that these are the rules, and that you have to build this empire, and I just feel like, well, look around us. Does it really work? Not really. It gets by. Yeah, we don't live in a in a place like say Saudi Arabia, but I don't know. But anyway, that was a too much way too much of a rant about other things. So anyway, getting back to this channel, I'm going to be talking about a movie that I really really loved. I had heard about this movie and I was really 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 impressed, and that is Impulse. Came out in 1974. I've seen two different time periods, 72 and 74, and I looked it up and it said 74. This stars the one and only William Shatner, Captain Kirk. I had heard about this movie for quite a while, and I definitely did not see this movie. I'm a big Star Trek fan, not maybe as much, probably more of a Star Wars fan, but I do like Star Trek. I do like William Shatner. I love his persona. I love some of his films that he's been in. But this movie is bananas. Like, you get to see Captain Kirk basically become this unhinged serial killer, and it's a totally wild experience in almost every way possible. And this movie is amazing. It's a super, it's definitely a grindhouse like hardcore exploitation movie. It's pretty dirty, it's pretty nasty, and William Shatner kind of loses his fucking mind in this movie, and it's really good. Like, it's if you're accustomed to William Shatner as the iconic character or character actor, Cap uh, from Star Trek, it's Captain Kirk. It's kind of mind blowing seeing him in this context. It's wild. And I kept hearing about this movie. I've never seen it, and this was put out by Grindhouse. And Grindhouse, I think Eli Roth owns it. It's a boutique label that specializes in exploitation movies, and I believe I believe that Eli Roth, the director, owns it. It's his company, and man, this movie is super awesome. I have a couple of movies from that company. Pieces, one of the greatest slasher movies of all time, the Spanish movie. I have that, and then I have a couple others. But I noticed, and I think I have one other. Yeah, I think I have one other film. I noticed in Pieces as well, and this one. Man, they give you all the bang for your buck. Like, there's so many. This was very expensive, and I typically don't spend. I try not to spend too much money when I'm buying a movie. This was fairly expensive, but I was like, fuck it. I mean, it comes with, a beautiful, beautiful artwork, beautiful slipcase. The movie right here, all new artwork, or this is the original artwork, and it's just amazing. Like, there's two discs. I mean, look at that. And there's the feature of the movie itself, which has special features on it, and then there's a whole bonus disc also, which is just special features. And there's like literally hours. I haven't even made it all the way through this. It's wild. Like, there's so much stuff on here. Just like another Grindhouse release that I just mentioned, that one of my favorite, one of the greatest slasher movies ever made, Pieces, which is a Spanish movie that has so many fucking documentaries on it, and it's just insane. It's like, and that was expensive, but not quite. Impulse was a little bit more expensive. I think Impulse is a little bit more rare, a little bit harder to find. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it, and it's awesome. I mean, it's a really really well done directed. It's a really well directed movie. It's beautifully shot. The music is awesome. And the funny thing was, I didn't realize that this was directed by William Graff, who has done some really killer horror exploitation movies. And I realized I own his other movies, and Mako, which is one, and then I think another one was oh shit, what was the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. Um, Stanley. Yeah, both of those movies are awesome. Killer, like weirdo, bizarro exploitation movies. And so I didn't realize that when I was until I was watching the special features. I was like, oh shit, I do have a bunch of movies by um, William Graff, and he's super cool. There's actually a whole like basically a filmmaking clinic that is on this that's also included in this set. Really interesting, really fascinating, and it's super in depth. Like it's almost 2 or 3 hours. Like it's insane, and that's not even including the commentary or the documentaries or interviews that are centered on Impulse. But really cool. What a great discovery! And I heard a lot of things about this movie the last couple of years. To a degree, like a lot of hype around it, and I have to say, it's like it's believe the hype. Like it's it's kind of the shit. It's a I mean, even if it wasn't like say the whole thing of you got to see William Shatner play a serial killer. Even if it wasn't that, it by itself is such a great film. Uh, really creepy. Really, there's some moments in it that are really funny. Really well directed. Some great kills. And just seeing William Shatner play this totally unhinged kind of shitbag is just amazing. And yeah, it's an awesome movie. It's like really really great and great atmosphere. The music is just so cool. Um, yeah, I love this movie, and I'm super excited. I had never seen it before. It's my first time watching this movie, and I just bought it uh, this past Sunday, and today's Wednesday, and I just watched it the other night. And God, what an awesome movie! I'm looking forward to watching this again. So, can't recommend this movie enough. It is really really good. Um, William Shatner's known for the Star Trek universe, and rightfully so. But he's got a lot of movies that to his credit. Another movie of his, another killer exploitation horror movie, The Devil's Rain, which is an awesome movie. Also, I did a show. I've done a couple of shows on that movie. I bought that quite a few years ago, or a few years back on Blu-ray, and that movie is just killer too. But he's done so many movies. He's done something like 50 or 60 movies, around the Star Trek period. So awesome movie. So thanks again, and we will see you next time. Peace.